I never even got to sell a single one.
August 24th, 79 AD. That's the date. Burn it into your memory.
I woke up at dawn. Same as always. Fired up the oven, started mixing the dough. It was my routine. For 15 years, that was my entire life. And there was nothing, absolutely nothing, that told me this would be the last time.
There was something about the city in the morning, before it all gets going. Before the market gets loud and the politicians start their shouting, it was quiet. Just me, the warmth from the oven, the smell of bread. It felt peaceful. Famous last words, right?
So that morning, I had 81 loaves baking in the oven. 81. And how do I know that exact number? Because they found them. 1,700 years later, archaeologists cracked open my oven, and there they were, still there, with my baker's stamp on them. Can you even process that?
Now, let me tell you something about Pompeii. Don't you dare picture some sleepy little village with huts and dirt roads. No, no, no. We were the real deal. We thought we had the world completely figured out.
We had 20,000 people. Paved streets, running water pumped in from these massive aqueducts. We had a 20,000-seat amphitheater for gladiator games, restaurants, public baths. We had everything you have now. We were modern. And the graffiti? Oh man, it was everywhere. People complaining, writing love notes, cracking terrible jokes. This one here, it was actually on a wall. It's still there today. Seems like Succectus was having a tough week. Some things just never change, do they? We were so advanced, so sophisticated. And that giant mountain looming over us, Vesuvius, it was just scenery, a nice backdrop. The richest people in the empire were building their vacation homes on its slopes. That's how little we thought of it.
But looking back now, my God, the signs were all there. The mountain was practically screaming at us, and we just weren't listening.
Come on. 17 years earlier, a massive earthquake almost leveled the place. What did we do? We just rebuilt. Then, in the weeks right before it all went down, the wells and springs just dried up. Poof, gone. And in the final days, little tremors started shaking the ground every single day. But nobody connected the dots. Nobody said, hey, maybe the ground shaking and the water disappearing means something bad is about to happen.
Then, around 1 in the afternoon, everything stopped. I heard it before I saw anything. It was a sound I can't even describe. It was like the planet itself was being ripped in half. And the whole top of the mountain it was gone. It exploded. A column of rock and ash and fire shooting miles up into the sky.
And it just blocked out the sun. 1 minute it's a bright summer afternoon, the next it's midnight. Just like that.
First, a fine ash started to fall. It was almost weirdly beautiful, like a soft gray snow. But then came the rocks. Pumice stones raining from the sky. And these weren't pebbles. These were heavy enough to crack a man's skull open. People started screaming, running for cover, but there was nowhere to go. It just kept coming down.
And here's the craziest part. In those first few hours, you could have just walked out. Seriously, the roads were still clear, and thousands of people did. They just ran and they survived. But so many of us, we waited.
Your brain just doesn't know what to do. There's no plan for the sky is falling. Some people hid in their cellars. Some stayed behind to guard their money. I stayed too long. Was I worried about my bakery? The bread? It's insane what you think is important when your world is ending.
But then, around midnight, it all changed. The eruption entered a new phase. And that's when it was really, truly over.
It wasn't just ash and rocks anymore. It was something else. Something the scientists now call a pyroclastic surge.
Think of it like a wall of fire, a wave of superheated gas and ash moving at 700 kilometers an hour at 300 degrees Celsius. This didn't just roll down the mountain, it detonated. It was a bomb that erased a city.
There's no outrunning that. There's no hiding from it. 1 second, there were thousands of us, screaming, praying, running. The next second, absolute silence. The city just went silent in an instant. For almost 2,000 years, we were just gone. A lost city under a mountain of ash. And then they found us, the archaeologists. They figured out how to pour plaster into the empty spaces in the ash where our bodies used to be. And when it hardened, they pulled out perfect statues of us in our final moments.
They found a dog still chained up, twisted in its final moments.
They found a whole family huddled in a basement, clutching their gold. They found 2 soldiers still standing guard at the city gate. Their orders were to stay, and nobody ever came to relieve them. So they stayed.
And in my bakery, they found my oven, and inside, 81 loaves of bread, turned to carbon, hard as a rock, but perfectly preserved. You could still see the baker's stamp on them. The bread I was baking that morning. The bread I never sold.
You want to know the real secret of Pompeii? We weren't ancient history. We weren't some primitive people. We were you. We were busy. We had jobs. We had drama. We were distracted. And we lived right next to this incredible power that we completely disrespected. In the end, the ash saved everything. The paintings, the graffiti, the jokes on the wall, even the bread. It preserved everything perfectly. Except for us.